4 reasons why gay men still struggle with shame. Hey guys, Michael Pizzulo here, psychotherapist in West Hollywood. So I want to talk to you about shame that gay men carry even after they come out. There's a really common narrative that once you come out of the closet and you publicly declare your identity, that all of the shame that you may have been carrying is just going to drift away. And I think that's often true for a lot of people, at least to a certain degree. But a lot of folks find themselves, out, visible in the community, doing things, so on and so forth, and still struggling with quite a lot of internalized shame just about being gay. Maybe you would call it internalized homophobia. And they're not really sure why or how to shake it. So I want to give you 4 things that you may be doing, if this is you, that might be actually reinforcing the shame that you're carrying with you. This obviously varies significantly from person to person, but I just want to give you 4 ideas to think about. So the first one would be staying selectively closeted. So obviously, when you come out, it's not a one-time thing. Every time you meet someone, you basically kind of have to come out again. Maybe they guess or they can tell, or I don't know. But the idea I think you want to have is that you don't have to tell every single person, who you sleep with or who you're married to. But it also shouldn't be a secret either, right? Your identity should be kind of like a loose garment or something like that. So if you find that you are selectively withholding the information when it is appropriate to share, that might be something to consider. And again, if you're in an area or in a space or a profession where it's not safe to be out, that's a different story. But assuming that you are, think about if you find yourself selectively closeting yourself, that might be something that reinforces the shame. The other thing would be avoiding gay spaces. And that's not to say that you have to be some gay party boy and go to every LGBT advocacy, whatever it is, because there's quite a lot and you'd be busy. But if you find that you are avoiding those spaces, that might be something to think about. So again, just because you're gay and you live in I live in LA, for example, you don't have to live in the gay neighborhood. But if you find yourself avoiding it or not wanting to be in gay spaces, that is something I would also consider to be a dynamic that you may be intentionally, consciously or unconsciously trying to distance yourself from the community. And it's not that you have to ingratiate yourself in it 24/7, but it should be something that you can just sort of drift in and out of with ease and not feel like you have to intentionally create space. And the third thing would be overcompensating. So, they talk about this a lot, especially gay men of a certain generation, but this idea that being gay is this, defective, ugly part of me. And so I want to do a lot of overcompensating. I want to be the best. I want to be the prettiest. I want to be the most successful or the whatever it is. If you find that you're still overcompensating even after you're coming out, that's also something that could relate to reinforcing the shame. And that's not to say that we all don't want to impress people and do a good job and get good grades or get raises or promotions or get lots of likes on Instagram and all those sorts of things. That's fine to a certain extent. But if you still feel like my sexuality or the gay part of me is something bad and defective that I have to overcompensate for, that is something that I think is pretty toxic and can lead to just strengthening any kind of internalized shame that you have about being gay. Because being gay should be a part of you that's kind of neutral, right? It's just your sexuality. It shouldn't be a defect that you have to find other shiny, impressive things to impress people with to overcompensate for. So just think about that as well. And I think the 4th thing is going to be placing the blame on other people. And what I mean by that is that all of the work we do on ourselves, our biggest agency is with ourselves. I would love to change the world and make it perfectly inclusive and harmonious for everyone. We'll see if we ever get there. But I have no power really in manufacturing that. My power and all of us individually, what we have is our ability to find comfort within ourselves. And I think that a lot of gay men that struggle with strong internalized homophobia or still are battling a lot of shame, they're looking for other people to tell them that it's okay, to make them comfortable, to affirm them, and to, so on and so forth. And don't get me wrong, that's great. If I meet someone who goes out of their way to, let me know they're a gay ally, that's wonderful, and I appreciate that. I really do. It's very, kind and endearing. But to expect everyone to do that, I think may leave you, disappointed. And ultimately, it's almost like telling them to do the work for you. If all the people in the world affirm me, but I still don't affirm myself, I'm still going to be battling a lot of, shame and discomfort. So I think the last thing would be really thinking about how much of the responsibility am I placing on other people to make me feel okay with who I am, rather than me looking inward to be okay myself. So again, those are 4 just general themes, ideas to consider if you are an out gay man but still battling a lot of shame. I think you'll notice that a lot of these themes have to do with compartmentalizing rather than integrating. I really think that we all have different parts of us, and the idea is to integrate everything together and find self-acceptance, right? But if you feel like, being gay is this part of me that I try to keep in a box and separate it and don't want people to look at it or want to overcompensate or so on and so forth, those are signs that you're engaging in behavior that is shaming to yourself and not promoting integration and self-acceptance. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments as always. Please subscribe to my channel if you like content about, gay men and gay psychology and dating and relationships and those sorts of things. And if you want to talk to me directly about, any kind of work you want to do on yourself, I'm a therapist and a coach. I'll put my booking link in the description. And as always, I appreciate you guys watching my videos, and I will catch you in the next one.